Hello and welcome back to the Stronghold. I'm the Magi. And very recently, I had a, somewhat newer member of the community ask me an excellent question, pointing out the issue of diminishing returns and basically when do you stop drafting a set? And while I'm more than happy to have addressed that question, and certainly if you are a member of the community and have questions, or considering being a member of the community and have questions, you should ask them. But with that in the back of my mind, I just kept thinking, haven't I addressed this like with its own video at some point? And when I looked into it, I came to realize that at some point was almost 2 full years ago. And that there are a lot of people that have joined the community since then, and I haven't really talked about this since then. So today we are going to change that and kind of update some things along the way as well. So stay tuned. Before we get into all that, take just a second and smash the like button. Truly, it'll only take a moment to do all of those YouTube things, and it really helps the community. Speaking of community, if you haven't been seeing our community updates, take a moment, tap the bell icon, and update your notification settings. There's a lot of great information, and your voice can help shape the future of the channel. Now, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, right. All right, so one of the first things that we need to think about when it comes to drafting and when we should be stopping is to ask ourselves, what are we really trying to accomplish through this drafting? And while a lot of people enjoy the drafting limited format, and probably an equal number don't, the enjoyment or lack thereof is really not the issue at hand. What we're talking about here is two simple things. One, we want to get the bulk of our uncommons in our collection so that we don't have to spend wild cards or buy packs to try and get those uncommons later on when it would be less efficient to do it. Secondly, we want to convert enough of our free to play earned gold into generally must purchase gems so that we can afford the mastery pass without any cash out of pocket. These are both very achievable things, and balancing these two aspects across a number of different economic options right now in Arena is really where you know it's time to stop drafting a particular set. For instance, when you look at some of my more recent modeling for the arena economy and how to get the most out of what you can earn with regards to the uncommons, I was actually finding now that I was earning that virtual playset of the uncommons really just from the jump in, drafting, and free packs, and it really wasn't taking into account all of the additional uncommons and wildcards that I was going to be getting from buying all of those packs. The net result of this is we statistically end up with way more uncommons than we needed, and that just ends up feeding the vault. So we're working harder to have less efficient outcomes. The other interesting thing about this modeling is that it gave you approximately 158 rares per set on average and an expected wildcard value of about 14 or 15 uncommon wildcards, which would also directly translate to rare or mythic wildcards. And it suddenly occurred to me that by being more efficient, we could do way better. And hey, efficiently gathering resources is really what we're all about here at the Planeswalker Stronghold. So I have rebalanced our budget. And for those who actually follow some of my budgeting work over the years, you'll notice that I have started including ranking rewards in our annual total, raising it by just 12,000 gold. I really think it's very realistic that an average player can earn 1,000 gold per month off of ranking rewards, either by hitting silver, very achievable in both categories, or by hitting gold or better in one or the other. I don't think there's a very many player models out there that aren't already achieving that or could easily change the way they play ever so slightly and get to that level. That brings our average gold per set of expected income to just over 81,000 gold. I have done some different modeling, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But I believe the current correct balance is to expect and plan on doing 7 jump-in events. That should easily get you all of the new jump-in packs, as well as hopefully some of those more premium packs to help you build your collection towards decks. I have dropped the number of quick drafts way down to 5. That's 6 total drafts. So we'll be doing 5 quick drafts and 1 premium draft from the prior season's Mastery Pass token. That frees up and remains enough money in our budget to purchase 49 packs every single season on average. And I know someone's going to ask, why 49 and not 50? Well, so far we have seen that they give the first pack in Brothers War towards your golden pack for free. So by buying an additional 49 packs, you're actually given credit for having 50 packs worth of purchase and getting that 5th golden pack at a slight discount. And you'll also notice that there is a slight discount in the gold of 100 gold. That being because at least once every single season they offer a pack of the current set at that 10% discount. So that very efficiently spends nearly all of our 81,000 gold and leaves about 600 gold in the coffers for whatever, or eventually rolling it over and saving it up and doing something more interesting with that. And here is that new uncommon model. Again, by looking at the expected outcomes of different activities, we are now kind of coasting into that uncommon playset with the expanded purchase of our 49 packs and not before. With this new model, we will also earn a slightly higher 17 wild cards, both in uncommons and rare slash mythics. So if you got a little bit unlucky with your random variants and your uncommons, and maybe you fell a little bit shy of a play set of an uncommon that you really want or need for a deck, you have plenty of wild cards available to do that. And we also can expect to pick up about 10 or so random ICRs over the course of a season to fill in older sets and things like that. So really, we should be about positive 32 or so uncommons each and every set. You can also see here that our expected outcome on rares and mythics per set, not including those wild cards and things like midweek magic and random ICR upgrades, that jumps up to 171 rares slash mythics per set. And hey, while an 8.2% increase in the expected number of rares for each and every set is really nothing to sneeze at, that is going to really change the way many of us approach standard in the short run and have the similar ramifications in the internal formats over the long run. But that's not the only benefit that we're getting here. Secondly, we're spending less time interacting with limited environments, and freeing up time is always a good thing from an efficiency standpoint. Now, depending upon how you feel about limited, that is a quality of life issue. outside of the quantity that could mean different things for different people. Because obviously, if you love playing jump in or draft, doing it less often is maybe a little less fun and a personal choice you might have to take into account. But I know for many of you out there, jump in feels like a waste of time, although I completely disagree with that. And many of you either don't like draft or would go so far as to say they hate drafting. And that is a huge quality of life change for that type of player. And of course, keep in mind, all of this is with no expected change in our uncommon collection. We are still expecting to get a very nearly complete uncommon playset aside from statistical variation. And in fact, if anything at all, the increased number of wildcards should make us more consistent in achieving that playset of uncommons. But it's not all grass is greener on the other side of the fence here, folks. These changes do have a cost. Primarily, moving from just 6 drafts from the previous 9 model means that our win rate to afford the Mastery Pass increases to 3 wins per event from the previous just 2.1 wins per event. And I know for a lot of you that feel like you're not good at draft or haven't had a lot of practice, that is going to feel very, very daunting. To be 100% transparent, in the current season, I am averaging just 2.8 wins. But for me, I've also been playing long enough that I have about 10,000 or so gems as a buffer to cushion those little shortfalls. And I know a lot of you aren't going to have that. So how can we maintain this model and do just the 6 drafts without really breaking the budget here? Well, aside from the somewhat obvious and very cliche answer of just get good, the answer here is to simply continue doing more drafts. For instance, if you do just one additional draft from the 6 that I have suggested in the modeling, your win rate need drops to 2.6. Another draft beyond that, you get 2.3, and remaining at the 9 drafts gets you right back to what I think is a very achievable in the long run 2.1 drafts. And of course, if you really do quite a bit, you can actually afford to drive that win rate all the way down to just 1 win. But there is a good bit more grinding involved there. I think 3 drafts puts this in range for most players. So how do we finance those additional drafts that some of you may want or need? And the most obvious answer here, I think, is to just kind of ignore this change to the modeling and continue to do 9 drafts and buy less packs. You're going to have less rares, but things don't really get any worse than what they were for the last couple of sets. And that's perfectly acceptable. However, you can continue to buy that projected 49 packs per set and maintain your draft quantities at a higher level by doing a variety of things. The first thing to consider is making 20 of the packs that you buy from the Alchemy bundle. That is going to make no change to the total number of packs that you're buying, but it's going to free up about 5,000 gold by going Alchemy instead of the current base set. And of course, 5,000 gold is the magic number to afford a draft. So if you just need 1 more, that's an easy way to do it. If you aren't in love with Alchemy and maybe aren't willing to make that concession, consider pushing your average win rate up to 3. That is going to generate about 8,000 and some change gold per set, and that will easily allow you to add 1 more draft. And obviously the combination of the 2 here gets you 2 drafts. Lastly, if you push that win rate average up to 4 times per day, that will actually generate 3 drafts in and of itself with no need to consider alchemy whatsoever. And of course, if you do alchemy and 4 wins per day, that can easily get you to 4 additional drafts and pushing your win rate ever higher. Although there is a vastly declining efficiency there because of lower rewards for your 5th and higher win, you can definitely push all the way up to, I think, 7 additional drafts. But all of that being said, there's definitely different options. There is definitely going to be something here that will work for each and every player. And please comment down below. Let me know what you think about this new modeling. Do you think you can afford the Mastery Pass on just 6 drafts? How many drafts are you looking to do in each and every set? Because of course I want to continue tailoring this advice to what is actually going on with our community of players. And folks, before you go, make sure you've subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on a thing. Because I know I can't change the magic economy all by myself, but I think we can.